Hold on. Hey, wait, hang on a minute. I'm still working on stuff. I've been busting my hump trying to fix this stuff for like a day and a half. I've been under the underside of this here rig. I've had the hood up on this show for the last, I don't know, goddamn, like 13 hours straight, trying to make everything go back to working. Look, there's a lot of things we don't like in this world. When you drive in your truck and it shuts off in the middle of something, in the middle of you get you going. You know what I mean? You visited your second favorite lady in the whole world. Her husband comes home as he ain't supposed to do. The out of work son of a bitch surprises everybody by getting fired on that very day. Whatever. And then you hightail it, pants a dangling, penguin walking out the window, hop into your truck and sit there like an asshole in one of them action thriller movies where there's a killer after you, or it's just going hang, 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 hang. That's just, hey man, that's bad. We know that's bad. But worse even is it's still in there and your truck starts up for no reason. That's scary too. And then it turns off, and then it turns back on, and it turns off, and it turns back on, turns off and on, off and on, off and on for like 12 hours. It's just hard to get any kind of focus and get any action on your downstroke if you're worried about the truck jumping through the window and whose truck is it and all that. I can't do this and peek out the window at the same time. I don't know why. It's just all wrong. We out streaming. It says we're on Facebook. We okay. I checked over there. I threw them switches. Don't you even worry about it. I ain't got no concern in this. So, don't call a mechanic. What do you think her husband does for a living, dummy? You trying to get me, give me 2 steps, buddy. Give me 2 steps for the door. I'm living the 2-step, man. Come on. Look, I'm doing my best trying to make this fucking show work for this sap over here doing his thing. And it can't even, where's that? Okay. So, anyways, welcome. Hit ye like, hit ye subscribe, push your follow button or whatever the shit you do with all them social medias and stuff like that. And we of course want to welcome everybody who's watching us on the screens at Cracker Barrel. I ain't much of a hacker, but I can get a hold of that remote. You know it, Sarah. I'm not gonna tell you. Come on. So here we go. We got a lot of show for you. And first of all, Hal wants to say hi to all the people in the chat room. So here, I'm gonna send it over to him. Take it away, here, mister. Hi, everybody. Well, welcome. I have a big banner over my head, which I can't seem to move. Hey, thanks for being here. What a crazy day. Tobias, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Don't forget, patreon.com/HalSparks. Help out the show as I, for the 5th time, rebuild this son of a bitch from scratch. Is it 3 steps? I don't know what it's like where you are, Angela. I wouldn't question Ficus. Honest to God. And I was fixing something and what had happened? Okay. That's the comms one. What's this main one? Hold on. So me, and I see. Psst, stupid. Come on now. I can't. I'm not gonna be able to shake the accent, am I? I fixed something. There we go. Show that one and hide that one. That work? Okay, cool. So this should work. Hey, where'd I go? What happened? I disappeared. What in the world? Hold on. I vanished. I don't want to vanish. Hold on. I'll turn it back on. Give me a second. Where's my camera? There we go. Hold on. I jumped over and I threw myself into both pictures. There's 2 of me now. I'm friggin' surrounded in this shit, man. That ain't right. That shit is not right. I was trying to fix something and I broke it all. What in the ever loving world? There's two of us. Obviously, in that circumstance, uh, I'll win. There you go. All right, now let me see if I can fix this because it's just dumb. Hold on, I got to get out of the studio. This what's screwing up the whole thing, man. This is messing me up for to beat the band. Please work, please work, please work. Nope, didn't do it. Hold on. Source of show that. Yes, that's what it's supposed to do. All it does shut me off. It don't bring him back. Well, what the shit is going on? What'd you do now, you dummy? Oh, it's the wrong picture. I know what it is. Simmer down. I got it. I got it. It's all crazy. Hold on. So there's that one, and there's this one. It's on the wrong thing. I'm stupid. Hold on. I fixed it. There you go. Bring me. What? No, maybe I didn't. Hold on. It's just terrible, y'all. We're just gonna make it happen. I don't care. I disappeared. Show that. Hide that. Okay, that works. Then what? Then we hit this, and the second button should show this one and hide that one. Okay. There. I fixed it. Oh, good. All right, now it should work. Hold on. Wait. Hey, man, there I am. And I'm back. Okay, good. All right. Took a second, but it works. All right. Hi. You know what? I'm rebuilding this goddamn show from the ground up again. So who gives a shit? We're having a good time. AI, anal intelligence. Ficus is anal intelligence. That is absolutely the fact. Because he knows better than to yuck anybody's yum, people. Hold on. Now I've got to name this thing. Hold on. Because I'll get very confused. Uh-huh. And I just made a button to turn me into Ficus and back. And I literally had no, me. Okay. Hopefully that works. Okay, which one does this work on? Yeah, that's the right button. Okay, good. And I'm back. Super good. All right. It's it'll start. Yeah, my clothes look very well. So does my hair. It's I was fucking with the contrast on this camera because it's all wonky. I'll work it out. You can see me. That's the important thing. We can't be too picky. Well, we can. Hold on. We absolutely can. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can do this. What happens if I turn the color correction off? See how like, see what I mean? All right, I'll fix this. Hold on. What do you think? First of all, take the contrast down a bit. That's nuts. All right, I'll leave that. We don't. That's fine. It's fine. Just leave it. I'd rather be blown out than look like Eddie Munster. So that's better. Okay. Anyways, hi. I'm just gonna keep working on the show with you guys here. It's fun to have you around. I know you see my comment, Mrs. Barks, young man. I do. It get her better. Baby better. I know what you're talking about. Darker's better, you think? I don't know. It doesn't quite matter. It really doesn't. So long live the mouse. I have a weird mouse. I have one of those grip mouses, the side like that, because it's better ergonomically when I sit down and I'm working for long periods of time. But it's ass when I'm standing up. Haven't fixed that out. Dawn, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate when the show eats shit, which it is wont to do. I always feel bad when people super chat the show, but we need it, so I appreciate it and thank you very much. Now, one of the reasons why, and if I do say so my damn self, one of the reasons why oh look, we're both here. Get out of here. What are you doing? Get out of my. Hey, there's a dude behind me. Get it the heck? What are you doing? All right, sorry about that. Does it just turn both of them on? Oh, I know what happened. Really? It's just not working. It's just not going to work. I just made the goddamn button and it's not going to work. Okay, so what does it do in the first place? First thing it does is turn this camera off, turn that camera on. Oh, ha. Man, that's what it was. I figured it out. Hold on. Oh, sorry, I'm fixing something while we're sitting here just because I'm a big jerk. Okay, so turn this off. Turn this on. Okay, and then the opposite on this one. Turn. Snap, hide that. And then I'll be with you in just 1 minute. Turn that and on that. Okay. Hey, look, it worked. Hey, I'm back. Hi, it's me. No, you ain't. It's me, you son of a bitch. I'm taking over the show. Get out of here. You can't do it. It's not right. All right. Okay, so that button works. We can trust that one. Okay. I was obviously being extraordinarily dumb. So, yes. Okay, so that's kind of show, kind of hide. And then the second part is, because I had it on the, it was changing the source availability on the wrong page. We're all right. Okay, it's working now. I think it will work. Let's find out. We go to this. There's the chat room. We hit this button. And what happens? Ass. There you go. Hey, it worked. And it worked back. There you go. Hey, look at that. I've done it. Whew, it's so nice. It's very weird. Yeah, I do have green hair. It's the green screen is messing with whatever. It is fine. I like, we're fine. Quantum Ficus. Yeah. We'll do that at some point. The Ficus one makes me look skinny. Yes, it does. Makes my head look smaller. Anyways, hi everybody. Welcome. I think, by the way, the reason I had to work so hard on Ficus being able to visit today is because of our first guest on the show, ladies and gentlemen, Turd Nugget himself, shredding libs, Biden and the woke, and his guitar. What? And you know, there's something embarrassing about a man of his rock era playing a hollow body. I've never understood it. It's a little silly, quite frankly. What are you looking for? Acoustic resonance on Wang Dang Sweet Poontang, you goofball? But the important thing is, hey man, don't you say a disparaging word about my favorite artist in the whole wide world, Turd Nugget. Turd Nugget is the shit, man. I'm not even kidding, buddy. It's just not right. I want to see what he has to play. I mean, say. Shut up and start talking. Turd, let's go, man. Oh, whoops. I clicked on y'all, folks. Get back over here. Now, play this again. Here we go. Let's do it. All right, let's see what he has to say. Oh, there's going to be an ad. Don't give him your information. Don't do it.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity.
Especially when your email is dannywatts@email.com.
Hey, wait! It's my stuff.
Now it's easy to help protect yourself. LifeLock helps detect identity threats. If there's a problem, we work to fix it. Backed by our $1 million protection package. Identity theft protection starts here at LifeLock.com.
This isn't my ad, just whatever. Okay.
Great to have you along for the ride. Really glad to have this man back.
What?
A great personal.
Wait a minute. He's on Joey Bag of Donuts? And on Joe Pags? Shit, I thought this was a clean clip of Ted. If they duet, I'm out.
Friend of mine, more importantly to everybody watching, listening, it is the man.
What the fuck kind of punch position is that? Ted.
Great to have you along for the ride. Really
What is this? You want to you're allegedly a musician. You want to break your fucking fingers? What is that?
Glad to have this man back. A great personal friend of mine, more importantly to everybody watching, listening, it is the man, the myth.
Yeah, that's
the Motown.
And this business, what kind of punch was that? Why is this asshole smiling? I think is a big question. Okay, here's how it goes. It's simple as fuck. Put your fingers together. Fold them in half like that so that they hit the top of the pads of your palm right there. Roll them down and then pull your thumb in like this and lock it. That's it. That's the fist you need. And then you aim all of your focus through these two knuckles right here. See those two? The big ones? And straighten your arm, you dipshit. I can even do that, and I have to roll. That finger doesn't even want to shut all the way, and I could still roll the whole fucking thing on my left. What is that? This is, I'm starting to think that MAGA isn't nearly as macho as we all thought it was. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. Turd Nugget, I'm just saying your UFC career is going to end as quickly as it started.
Madman. It's Ted Nugent, rock and roll
I'm going to guess that he cut his sleeves off and didn't punch his way out of that shirt.
legend, board of directors of the NRA, television star, on tour.
Television star. Television. Does he mean MTV kinda? I mean, certainly during the damn Yankees phase, they were on heavy rotation. But I would say that had more to do with former members of Styx and Night Ranger.
Well into his, 70s now, Ted? Dude, you're nonstop. How are you?
Celebrate.
He's almost exactly the age of the year he was when he dodged the draft. It's rather funny. Yeah.
Cocked, locked, and ready to rock the Glock around the clock, Dr. Spock. It's Uncle Ted reporting for duty. The mic.
Okay. I appreciate the attempted rhyme scheme. I really do. But you got some serious chat GPT misunderstanding of words going on here. Cock blocked and ready to rock?
Listening, it is the man, the myth, the Motown madman. It's Ted Nugent, rock and roll legend.
Okay, he was ever so slightly embarrassed by his own punch at that point. It's interesting.
Board of directors of the NRA, television star, on tour, well into his, 70s now, Ted? Dude, you're nonstop. How are you?
Here, celebrate, cocked, locked, and ready to rock the Glock around the clock, Dr.
Clock blocked around the clock and shock your jock with a rock, you flock of seagulls, bastard. Cock. I'm just saying, if you're gonna get veneers, be aware of the other teeth surrounding the ones that you are replacing. There is no shame on it. People do it all the time. It's pretty standard these days. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this look either. Mama, just show must go on.
Spock, it's Uncle Ted reporting for duty. The Michael Moore fan club is running for the hills looking for high feet right this minute because of my effervescence.
Michael Moore. Well, I guess you got to play the oldies when you're that age.
I would love to see a debate between you and Michael Moore.
Yeah, it'd be exciting. I think we'd all, man, it would have rocked 1993.
The thing that cracked me up about Michael Moore is A, he's from Davison, which is not Flint. B, he built a...
Yeah, who gives a shit about people being poisoned in their groundwater and their drinking water? He's from like 3 miles away. Hey, Joe, fuck you.
$5 million mansion in Traverse City and treated all the union workers like crap, but then he pretends he's the common man. That's the brain numbing of the left, isn't it? They want us to believe they're one thing.
All right, citation needed. I'm not aware of Michael Moore being a dick to the people who built his house. I'm going to need to see tape.
When they're really the elitists, aren't they?
Yeah, they're so elite. They're very elite. Absolutely. They're, especially him. I mean, it's all caviar and shrimp cocktail and tiny little slices of sea bass eaten with miniature forks.
Well, I got to tell you, it's almost like Bruce Springsteen. God bless his E Street Band and his wonderful art and his wonderful music and his work ethic. But
that he kept doing and kept making great art his entire life instead of... Oh, we're not having that conversation?
God, he's about as everyman as Gene Simmons is a gargoyle. I mean, it's all smoke and mirrors.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop you for a second because there's a gargoyle is a mythical creature, and it is usually meant to both scare and welcome. If it's your gargoyle on your castle, your home, whatever, it's to scare off the strangers and everybody who knows that that's not really a demon perched on a piece of stone up on the top. If you know it's just a statue, you come on into the house. I think there's actually a lot of similarities. I mean, if you're going to go for a, Bruce Springsteen is an everyman the way he's a fighter. I don't know. And by the way, Springsteen came up in that. Again, you do get credit if you are still aware, like you grew up blue collar. If you get rich and then you don't become a complete bastard and stop talking to everyone, like he brought everyone along for the ride. That's like everybody in the Foo Fighters is rich now, but they're still the same people they were. And this asshole is still the same prick he was in the mid-70s.
I reference the Michael Moore fan club all the time because
you don't have any newer references?
I think it's General Mark Milley is his drag queen boyfriend, and he's the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the U.S. military, and Mark Milley can't even do a push-up. I don't want this guy in charge of defending my country, so I...
Okay, at a certain point, for him to, castigate somebody who actually served, considering how this fucker got out of service. And I'm gonna guess that Milley, I'd put money on this, that Milley can out-push up Ted. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Now, obviously, Tilly's got a bit of a belly, so he probably wouldn't have to go down as far. Or Mark Milley. Yeah, Mark Milley. Why am I saying Tilly? I'm thinking Tiller the Baby Killer and my brain's frying. Yeah, Mark Milley. Thank you. Both, I'm absolutely, my money's on the actual guy who actually served, who actually went through basic, who actually continued his training, versus the guy who cosplays in... All right. Look, I'll admit. Shit, I'm going to do it right now. Here we go. Here we go. All right. I will admit to wearing form-fitting t-shirts. T-shirts that are comfortable for me, but some people like a drapier one, something that doesn't, cling to the bicep and around the arm, whatever. Okay. And there's mockery and respect on vacillating across the entire spectrum of people who are fashion policing every person they're around. That said, I am aware that while I can stretch these sleeves, I'm not blowing them out. And then if I ever cut the sleeves off of a shirt or something like that, I cut the whole thing because it's really about air. It's like, okay, I gotta kind of wear a shirt and I don't have a tank top and I'd rather have one. So I'm gonna cut the sleeves off a t-shirt and make a poor man's tank top. That's as far as I go. But I have to say, there are some particularly dickish fashion choices in the world that aggravate me. And I have arms so mighty, I blew the sleeves off my shirt cut bugs the living shit out of me. And especially when you're like wearing camo, pretending to be a badass, punching like a fucking rabbit, and making fun of a currently serving member of the military who has done his duty for his country his entire life. Like, I don't even have to like Mark Milley. I think some of his decisions are bad. But I also think that's the point of disagreement. I don't have to agree with all of them. I would hope there would be disagreement in it, because you don't want 9 people around you all that only come up with the same idea you would. Otherwise, you breed in weakness, right? But the fact that this prick is always wearing this, oh my God, my biceps were so big, my sleeves literally exploded shirts, is so fucking lame. Don't get me started on what this Joey Pags shirt situation is.
Reference the
all I know is it's a boy.
Michael Moore fan club as everything wrong, stupid, overweight, irresponsible, and unhygienic.
Both of you stink. Both of you are overweight. Neither of you are fit. Simmer the fuck down.
It's Ted Nugent. Go to tednugent.com.
Sure we should go to michaelmoorefanclub.com?
He's on Real America's Voice. He's doing campfires every night. Shemaine has a great, your wife, Shemaine Nugent, has a great show too. She's doing great on that. I watched it the other day.
Yeah, she's actually entertaining, I hear. I don't know. She actually says stuff worth hearing or whatever. I mean, your show, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you're obviously Ted Nugget and whatever. But your wife, man, I've been watching your wife's show. It's not Real America's Voice. Is it only something? I don't remember.
And the Nuge Vault is opening on April 22nd. We'll get into it.
The Nuge Vault. Dude just makes fun of Gene Simmons and then is selling the vault. Because if you don't know, Gene Simmons does a thing with the Kiss Vault. Hold on 1 second. I'll show you. Gene Simmons Vault. And yes, if you're looking for a perfect gift idea for me, that's probably it. I'm not kidding. This is old though. He was doing this in 2020 and obviously bad timing on when to do it. But there's this vault, literally. Look at this thing. And Gene will visit you, drop the fucking thing off. It's got unreleased songs and music and memorabilia and stuff like that. What's in the vault? Let's look. There he is. Hey, this is Gene Simmons. I'm basically a gargoyle. And then fan photos. These are people who actually came and got the vault. There you go. And you get pictures with Gene and you can talk to him and all that kind of stuff. And there you go. So yeah, oops, sorry. Here it comes back in. There it is. There's the vault. It's an actual, and you're like, it's actually heavy. Right. Yeah. Cause it is. It's quality item. Anyways, the point being is that this dickhead shits on Gene and then is basically ripping off the concept.
Exactly what that is coming up. But I love that you brought up Bruce Springsteen because Stevie Van Zandt the other day came out. Here's a guy that I didn't know that he was in the E Street Band. Can I be honest with you? I had no clue.
Really? That's odd to me. It seems like you're completely up on pop culture. I mean, you obviously know. Name a Ted Nugent song, Joe. One. I'm not kidding. How many people actually think that this fucker could name a single, like, you think he even knows, like, Don't Tread on Me, the worst track on the Damn Yankees album, which was an embarrassing salute to the future maggots of the world? Literally wrote that song based on the concept of the Gadsden flag. Like, ugh. There's no fucking way. Joe, what band was he in before he went solo? Anybody, like, for fuck's sake. Like, yeah. There is a slight chance Joe Pags might know cat scratch fever. He might not know it's about gonorrhea, but he'll probably know the name. But that's it. That's the depth of his understanding. So the idea that he doesn't know who's in the E Street Band and what they play is shocking to fucking nobody.
I knew him from The Sopranos. And here's a guy that made his living and made his millions.
That seems a little racist there. You only watch Italian stuff for Italians? I see. All right, what are you, ILM over there? Italian Lives Matter? I see.
On glorifying shooting people and being a bad guy on the screen. In fact, today, he's still in some show, I don't even know the name of the show, where he's carrying around a gun.
I don't know what band he's in. I don't know what show he's on. He's on like
gun everywhere, and he goes after you and me and anybody who believes in the Second Amendment the other day.
No, I'm guessing it's not the believing in the Second Amendment part. I think it's the inability to recognize you can curtail certain weapons from public use for the safety of the general citizenry so the rest of us can get on with our fucking lives, you tool. And that if you can't hit where you're shooting at in less than 6 shots, you're probably trying to kill police officers and soldiers, which, by the way, if I may, you want to know who I have a problem with in terms of these fuckers? Yeah, here we go. Hold on. Where is he? Let's see. There's where he's arrested for the thing. Let's see. Right. Okay. Hold on. There's a guy. Where is he? There's a Jan Sixer. I'll have to look on Twitter because I brought it up on there. I posted it a bit ago. And wait, is Maria Bartiromo getting fired? Hold on one second. I just peeked at Twitter. Give me 1 second. Melvin. Oh my fucking God. Get out of here. Really? Is that true? Dan Bongino, Janine Pirro, and Maria Bartiromo have all been fired by Fox News. This is the aftermath of Dominion voting system, gentlemen. Fox needs to get rid of... Oh, shit. Bye-bye. And I tell you goodbye doesn't mean forever. I don't celebrate anyone losing their job. Are you fucking kidding me? I am glad BTK is no longer a deacon or a park ranger. What the fuck? Or Judge Janine Pirro's case, I'll make an exception. Maria Bartiromo to be fired from Fox News as Ruben moves to be less vulnerable after 7-8. Yeah, I told you, if there was a single person responsible for this shit, it was Maria Bartiromo. Oh, fucking. Sorry, we just gotta party for a moment. Party for a moment. All right, party for a moment. Having a little party for a moment by myself. All right, everybody, Bongino's getting fired again. Bongino's getting fired again. All right, this is just, I'm being stupid, but thank God. Fuck those people. I hope she lands somewhere because she's good comedy when she says some of her stupid shit. But man, that just happened. Yeah, there, hold on. I love, here's the funny part. This is what I love. Let me show you something real quick. Where it is, here we go. So the news article that just came out from MSN said Maria Bartiromo and Janine Pirro will be fired from Fox News as he does. And that's happening a lot of you. Like Maria Bartiromo is trending because of this. Apparently Bongholio is getting fired too. Because he doesn't make the station any money and he's a waste of fucking space, whatever. But they don't even mention him in the articles because who gives a fuck? Oh, here you go. Mediaite did it. See what I mean? Like all the big things are going. The women, there are 2 women who've been fired. It's coming to the defense of women even when they're awful. Meanwhile, Dan Bongholio out at Fox News. Boom, boom. Oh, this is so good. All right. Parts shit. Look at this. Dan Bongholio parts ways with Fox News. Is that what he did? Is that what he did? He parted ways. And I tell you goodbye doesn't mean forever. Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. The pro-Trump firebrand, get the fuck out of here, fart bag, who turned frequent Fox News appearances into a job hosting a weekend show on the network, is out at the outlet. Bongholio, the host of Unfiltered and Fox Nation's Canceled in the USA. Oh, shit. His show was called Canceled, and he's fucking canceled. Oh, cancel culture. It's terrible when it happens. It's terrible. It's so terrible when it happens to the people who have been trying to fight back against it. Bongholio announced his departure from the network on his latest podcast, telling his audience that regrettably last week was my last... Oh, he didn't get to shut the fucking place down. Whoa. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Hold on.
It's some personal news to share today. Also, I said to you yesterday, the weirdest thing about these lefties is when they screw some stuff up, right?
No, you can swear. It's a podcast. Nobody's listening.
Or maybe when they don't screw stuff up, when they just
Also, why is his audio way off? Is that just me? My audio seems fine to me.
Just like go on attack and do really dumb stuff. They have this need to advertise it later. It's the weirdest thing ever. What if I told you they wrote an article in Time? We covered a while ago and it covered again today. They actually wrote an article in Time celebrating, in their words, a conspiracy to interfere in the 2020 election. Their words, not mine. I was reminded of this yesterday when we were talking about the Dominion story.
Okay, by the way, this asshole cannot read. I mean, he can perceive the orders of words and recite the words on the page. So he's able to operate a teleprompter. But his reading comprehension is the absolute fucking worst in the right-wing world. And that's saying a lot.
Sorry. How these lawyers for Dominion, it's the weirdest thing, are thanking the media for a lawsuit against the media that's hacking the media.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like just the lack of comprehension and the misfires in the brain that are, yeah, not good.
It's the craziest thing I've
Isn't
ever
it
seen.
crazy?
Gonna get to that a lot more. Don't go
But-
anywhere. Kind of dreading a little bit at the beginning of the show today, but stand by for a second. You'll see what I mean.
Nope.
I did let my team know.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Stay tuned for later in the show. So I've got some personal news to share. Let's just get ready.
By the way, it's not personal news. It's business news. You're not pregnant. You're not changing your pronouns. You're not getting married. You're not getting divorced. You don't have a baby on the way or a baby out of the way. It turns out I'm not the kid's father. Thanks, Maury. You know, it's none of that. It's not personal news. It's business. And the reason he wants to call it personal news is because he doesn't want to recognize that it is a business failure. We all have them. Nothing to be ashamed of. In my industry, comedians get fired every weekend. We're always temps at a new job, and we never get to stay over more than a couple of days.
Right to it. Folks, regretfully, last week was my last show on Fox News, on the Fox News channel. I haven't told.
I don't know if regretfully, not for us, obviously, maybe for you. And also, it's regrettably. I mean, the words regrettably. Regrettably, I will no longer be. We're not regretfully. What are you writing, poems?
Joe, that I know Guy, who's in the office with me, knew before the show. I did let my team know here this morning. And
my team.
Both
guys. You had to let both guys know. Both the other dudes. And the engineer that works at the studio that they pay a little bit to actually cut the show or do some shit.
It's tough. It's tough to say that.
Yeah. It's not tough to hear it, though. I will say. I will say that.
You know, I've been there doing hits and working there for 10 years. Appearances. I'm sorry. Shouldn't talk.
Yeah, don't. Obviously, you haven't been murdering people on. Yeah, you haven't been killing it over there in any respect. Yeah, so not only have you lost your show, but you are now persona non grata on the whole fucking channel.
Talking media jargon. Appearances on the network for, I think, close to 11 years. So the show ending last week was tough. I don't want you to, it's not some big conspiracy. I promise you there's no acrimony. This wasn't some like.
It wasn't even a surprise. The show was terrible. It didn't make any money. It was a waste of space. It was driving viewers away. And because it existed contractually, they had to pop him onto other shows to promote the fact that it's on the weekends, and nobody wanted him as a guest.
WWE brawl that happened. We just couldn't come to terms on an extent.
We couldn't come to terms on. they refuse to pay me if I refuse to stop lying.
And that's really it. The sad part is, again, I really enjoyed myself there. And
well, it's nice that you enjoyed yourself there because no one else did.
you know, they were good to me for 10 years. I mean, it allowed me to do a show called Unfiltered. We did.
Yeah, which was very filtered, by the way, which you always used to bitch about not being able to say on the air what he really wants to say. Hence, some level of filtration was going on. Please mention cancel.
We wanted to do over there and covered the topics we wanted to cover. And it's.
And it continually sucked in the ratings and nobody was interested. And nothing I did out in anywhere else actually grew the show at all. And they threw me a bone and I licked it and spit it back. And it was wasted for everybody's time. But it's kind of sad to say that these people won't have to deal with me anymore.
It's a sad day.
No, it isn't. It's not. It is not a sad day. You lost a television show and a spot on a network because you cost them tens of millions of dollars.
It's a sad day.
No, it was a sad day years ago when they ignorantly made the decision to put you and Judge Janine and Maria Bartiromo in a position to fuck the network out of $800 million. That was the sad day. You only know it in retrospect.
They did give me the opportunity to do one last show. I don't.
And let me guess, that show was you apologizing for bullshitting about the big lie, and you said no.
You think they like showed me the door? That's on me, not on them. But I just thought it was best to kind of go this way for now. Like I said, it's not acrimonious. I have a great team over there. I want to thank.
And now there's somebody else's team, and
everyone. I especially want to thank first a woman by the name of Lauren. Why is this hard? I didn't think this was going to be hard. Really, she really took a chance on
me. What do you mean? Lauren's last name? You mean the woman who took a chance on you and gave you a show and you can't remember her last name, or are you just not saying it, or did you blank it out?
Way, for now, like I said, it's not acrimonious. I have a great team over there. I want to thank everyone. I especially want to thank first a woman by the name of Lauren. Why is this hard?
Shit?
I didn't think this was going to be hard. Really,
Hold on.
She really took a chance on me early on.
Why is it hard? What? Remembering the last name of the person who helped you? The fuck are you talking about? Hold on. I gotta move the chat out of the way over here because holy shit. Like, just the fucking petty ego. Yeah. You had a good team. Everybody in the chat. You had a great team.
Early on at Fox. I mean, when nobody knew who I was. So.
Yeah, I remember her. Lauren. You guys remember Lauren, right? Lauren of the Westchester Laurens. She was Lauren O'Lauren, I think was her name. Fucking hell.
She's just a really good person. And Megan and Suzanne, the boss over there, for giving me a lot of opportunities. And I had a great team, folks. You might not know them. You're probably never going to meet them. But
no, definitely not.
When you saw the
you might meet them, but they're not gonna lead with, I used to work on Dan Bongholio's show. You might meet him and not even know that's the Lauren I was talking about, because interestingly enough, she's ashamed of herself now.
Show, I assume a lot of you enjoyed it. We went out as number one.
There's a phrase about assuming.
One. Maybe we were the number one show last week, and we were the number one show about 90% of the time.
90% of the time, they were the number one show on Fox at that hour. In terms of Fox, like when we were on the air, we were the number one on the air show. I'll have you know, that this live stream right now that you're watching is the #1 live stream of Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide of all the other live streams that I'm not currently doing.
We had a great team. Sabrina was the executive producer. And Will, who was our #2, and Kirsten was there. She was great.
Wasn't she? Wasn't Kirsten great? I think let's give it up to Kirsten. Kirsten, what's her name? Everybody. And Will, what's his name? Friends. They're all. Laura is part of their. Lorraine is part of their. They're all good people. Willie, Jackson, Frederick. Give it up for Nate. I think it was there was this one guy that I saw occasionally when I was going to like yell at somebody about my coffee being cold. That guy, I'll never forget his face. I don't know his fucking name, but I'll never forget his face. And I used to go, "Hey, guy," and we were so close to coming to blows a couple of times because he once, said, "What's my name?" to me, and I was like, "Fuck you, buddy." And Jesus Christ.
Nico, Isabella, Sam, Patrick. We had Joey.
You did have Joey, and was that consensual? Or
we had a really great team over there, and I really, really appreciate the opportunity to do it. And I'm sorry to pass that on to you. But again, we just couldn't come to terms. There's no big conspiracy.
Yeah, we couldn't come to terms. They wouldn't pay me if I wouldn't stop lying. Oh, it's romper room. I see Willie and Frankie and Lauren and Jocko and Whizbang and the Skeeter. Oh, we had a great team over there. Guy 1, Guy 2, Guy Fleegman. I don't even have a last name. Guy, you have a last name. Do I? Do I?
I promise you're going to read 1,000 left-wing articles about some nonsense. And I'm guaranteeing you on my reputation, it is all made up. It's a simple contract.
Yes, whatever they say about me is definitely made up. It's just a contract thing. And since legally Fox is not allowed to say anything via the terms of the contract that I signed, that any idiot puts in, that unless there's gross negligence on my part or they're charging me with a crime, they can't even mention why I left and they have to wish me well. That's in every contract. I just want you to know that, by the way. You know when the network says nice things about people when they leave? I want you to know that if you have a decent agent, they will put that in when you join the show. That's part of the terms. Unless you leave on because you were arrested for some shenanigans, or you were fucking, stealing Betamax machines from the fucking editing bay, they have to be like, well, we love the work that they did, and we want to, especially Lauren. Lauren did great work, and we're just so, we wish them well in their endeavors, blah, blah, blah. Right. You know what I'm talking about? That's always in there. When you see that happen, I want you to know that.
Thing, and that's it. It is no more complicated than that.
Yes, well, I don't doubt that the entire affair is rather simple.
Unfortunately, the timing's not great. I get that. But
is there a great timing to be cut loose from a network that just lost $800 million? I think it's, I guess it does look like shit.
But I just want you to know we have some really great things planned in the future.
Yeah. And one of them is not losing $800 million from the Dan Bongholio show. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We've got I'm gonna put more of my name on the background, a lot of that, and then I'm gonna be here doing this. And I'm gonna. By the way, can I just say for the record? Remember, I don't know if you guys, maybe you guys do know this. Remember that dust up I actually got in with Bongholio just not too long ago. Just about what a shitty, idiotic person. And it was like, I think even what started it was pretty innocuous. Like, it was not a huge deal, considering the shit I've talked about this idiot over the last couple of years, especially. What I said was relatively minor, if I do recall. And he fucking snapped. And it probably because of this wind-up, right? But at one point he was, because I have my PR agent, I have their contact stuff on my Twitter page because people ask for it, and it's smart. It's good business. And I have that up there. And he screenshot it, and then he like sent me the picture and was like, I bet you're getting all kinds of press requests. I bet you're getting all kinds of interview requests, that kind of shit. And then this happens. It's just, I mean, I will say this. I have not been asked on to Fox in a long time. But I have yet to be told I would never be allowed to step foot in the studio again. I'm just saying. Press request from your mom. Right? Yeah, she wishes I would press my shirts and flatten them out. Oh, it's so good. It's just so... Anyways, where were we? Oh, we were talking to Turd Nugget over here and Joey Bag of Donuts.
On Twitter. Ted, why do they do that? Just to feel better about themselves? Why say something when you know you've made your money on glorifying it?
Hold on. This has been so long. So much has happened.
Glorifying shooting people.
Oh, okay. This is because Van Zandt came out against mass shootings or doesn't think that there should be fucking machine guns in the streets. Piss off.
And being a bad guy on the screen. In fact, today, he's still in some show, I don't know the name of the show, where he's carrying around a gun everywhere. And
yeah, because he's a villain.
Goes after you and me and anybody.
Okay. Oh, and these guys are loud. I'm sorry. I'll cut that down. Beg your pardon.
Who believes in the Second Amendment the other day on Twitter. Ted, why do they do that? Just to feel better about themselves?
Yeah, why do they do that? I mean, it can't be because they see kids getting killed and get upset about it. Who the fuck does that?
Why say something when...
Why you say something just because 3 Christian children have been murdered and the administrator of the school and a teacher and a janitorial worker were all murdered by a nutcase? And why would you even care? Why would you even bother? I mean, it's, what do you get? What, are you upset?
When you know you've made your money on glorifying it.
Oh, that's right. By the way, if this asshole is now coming out against shows like The Sopranos, which he obviously is a fan of, and like gun-oriented action movies or some shit where guys are playing cops or villains, I would argue, here's what I would argue. Where's the open carry good guy with a gun story that doesn't turn into like a vigilante nightmare?
Be very careful, my friend Joe Pags. I know you respect your elders, so here's some wisdom from 75 years clean and sober. Don't try to find logic and don't ask the question why, because you'll have an aneurysm. Because from the left, there's no sense. There's no reason. There's no logic. They have no evidence to support their insanity. So,
yeah, none whatsoever. I have no evidence that if someone has to reload after 6 shots, somebody might have a chance at taking them down versus a 60-round fucking magazine or 2 30-round mags duct taped to fucking together they're walking towards a school with a gun in the fucking stool position, and because of these open carry bastards, if anybody walks up and says, "Hey buddy, where are you going?" that's a violation of their Second Amendment rights.
Let me make the comment about little Steven. Number one, I love you, little Steven. He's not very little anymore. He should probably change his diet. I'll get you some venison if you'd like, because you got to reduce your garbage patrol. Anyhow, I salute him because he comes from the same school of pure American rhythm and blues: Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, Little Richard, Motown. In fact,
what are you just listing shit you stole from black people? Yeah, I'm sorry. You don't have any white music heroes? What?
E Street Band performed Jenny Take a Ride by the incredible Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels. So we have this musical bond, but when he...
You were a fill-in on that, fucker.
Comes out and says things that he wants to exterminate people who support the greatest president. And the reason he's the greatest president is because...
Did Van Zandt say he wants to exterminate Trump supporters? Just murder them?
We had energy dominance.
By the way, if he said that, I'm against that, technically, just for the record.
That's great.
You know it would be good, and I don't know who the fuck am I to bring this up, and I'm not going to do any work for Joey Pags here. He can, if you're going to reference something like this, maybe show it. I don't know. You can do lower thirds. And they don't even have to make sense. You're capable. Rock and roll legend. The only thing that's legendary, genuinely, and I genuinely mean this, the only thing legendary about this asshole is the fact that he stuck a fucking candy bar down the back of his pants and pretended that he ate diarrhea so that he wouldn't have to go to Vietnam. That's the legend of Ted Nugent. The rest of it is just music. It's pedestrian and largely derivative. Some of it's fun, and if he'd just stayed in that kind of mental zone and not turned into an absolute asshole, you might still be able to enjoy it. But he is categorically in the people. I would never tell anybody to shut up and sing or shut up and play, but it is clear it would have helped him had he done that, not because of his political beliefs, but because of his egotistical idea of the value of those beliefs. He took the ego that got him on stage and the ego that made him a known player, and he laid that over into some sort of like weekend warrior militia member bullshitter.
We had secure borders. That's great. We had the lowest crime rate.
We had COVID, fuckhead.
That's great.
Yes, a pandemic where everyone stayed indoors, including people in Mexico and Guatemala and Venezuela, because they were afraid to pass through a country that had more cases of COVID than they did, lowered the immigration rate. No question.
We got out of global contracts where we had to pay for the pollution of China, India, Vietnam, and Pakistan. That's great.
How? What he means, I think he means the Paris Accord. I've read the Paris Accord on my live stream to you guys. First of all, he's never read it. There's no fucking way. He wouldn't bother. But if he had, and that's what he came away with, he's dumber than I thought.
He had the lowest unemployment of all demographics in him. I got to tell you, when
no, he didn't.
These guys attack conservatives, if you want your plumbing fixed, you're going to call a redneck. If you want your foundation secured on your house, you're going to call a redneck. If you want your truck worked or your electric car before the lithium battery kills you, if you want anything done in your life, you're going to probably call a Ted Nugent redneck conservative. I couldn't be more proud. So what we've got here,
who, by the way, in voting for Donald Trump, voted against their own interests on a myriad of issues, especially when it comes to their wages and their safety, the general safety.
Is every time the left opens their insane mouth, you've got the idiot.
Yes, it's that Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's just is that hoop theory or horseshoe theory? I don't know. She's so far right. She's
don't
left.
Know that
the building
comfortably numb is actually uncomfortably dumb.
Yeah.
So Stephen, I'd love.
Really?
To have you on my show. We could talk Chuck Berry and great guitar licks, and obviously I've got most of them, but he's gone off the cliff, just like Bruce and Bon Jovi and some of these artists out there that condemn the system by which they have enriched and succeeded in their American dream. Don't ask why. It's too bizarre.
The fuck are you talking about? The economy does better under Democrats. Always has. So every time this asshole shits on a Democrat, he's doing precisely that, because Ted Nugent has made his entire fucking life, as have I, on people's leftover money. There is a self-serving reason why artists in particular, especially people who perform live, want you to have a little more money in your pocket, because they would like you to have the option to spend a little money entertaining yourself and spend that money on them. We are not a necessity. I feel in my heart that music is necessary, but you can stay home and listen to that LP over and fucking over again. You don't have to go see him live. You want that person to have extra money in their pocket, have a little bit of cushion so that they, at the very least, so that they can entertain themselves and their family or their loved ones or their date or whatever on some point. And this fucker has lived on that entire system. And every time Americans have a little bit more, the mass of Americans, I don't mean the upper 12%. I mean, the middle fucking class. This motherfucker has skated on the grease of the extra cash that middle America has gotten because of union jobs and Democrats working very hard to secure that for them. The disgruntled assholes who go see him at the state fair for free, for the record, for free, are not part of that system. Not at that moment. They're spending that extra grease on grease, actually. They're eating elephant ears and
to try to find logic.
I think that's great advice. I ask why a lot, and it does give me what feels like an aneurysm. What it's brought out to me, and my response to Van Zandt on Twitter was, every movie set, every TV show set, every concert hall has been protected by good guys with guns, and thank God. I want you to...
Yeah, but people who are either licensed to carry them, specifically, have gone through training courses, and are tasked with that job that will cost them their livelihood if they don't do it. They don't have the option of not doing it. It's their fucking job. And in the case of police officers, that is true, and they've taken an oath. That is not the same as this motherfucker or you. Which neither one of these assholes has done either. This fucker thinks because he has a Gadsden flag hanging on his property, that makes him more American than somebody who only has the American flag. Fuck off. Same thing with Joey Pags. You're not a good guy with a gun. You're a guy with a gun who's running away, firing over his fucking shoulder. Because his only point for being in that situation and armed is to save himself. Are there people who conceal carry or who will, fire back against someone who is violent? And there have been several situations. Absolutely. Are there people who have guns to defend themselves? Absolutely. But don't think for a fucking second that there's a hypocrisy to armed guards at a giant event with thousands of people, especially post 9/11 or the fucking Boston bombing or any of that shit. The idea that somehow that's hypocrisy because the rest of us would like that the only people that show up with guns at the whole fucking concert so we can enjoy our fucking self are the people that are paid by the venue to carry them in case some dickhead brings one apropos of fucking nothing or tries to shoot at the fucking place from a casino across the road.
Be protected when you're out there performing. But our kids shouldn't have that in school. And I shouldn't have...
Okay, first of all, in school, no. If you want to have a guard around your school because your neighborhood is shit and you don't trust your neighbors and that's an ongoing issue, I would argue that better cameras and better security on the doors in particular, if you're going to have, if we update schools, bulletproof glass is not a bad idea, especially on the interlocking double doors that go in. One set being that you could save money on it. You're not going to need both. Save on one. Make the outer door that way, the inner door regular safety glass. That's something America could do for all of its schools if you're really worried about that. Fine, knock yourself the fuck out. But having a gun in the teacher's fucking desk or on their fucking hip, I'm telling you, I knew at least 5 kids in high school who would have had that gun by sundown.
At my house to protect my family. That's what doesn't...
And by the way, nobody's asking you to stop having a gun at your house to protect your family. And if you have to fire more than 13 shots to protect your fucking family, you either are... your friends know you hide money in the basement like John fucking Wick, or you're trying to kill cops because you're pulling your own Ruby rig.
Makes sense to me, and I do try to find logic, but I think your advice is great because I'm going to end up killing myself if I keep on trying to bring them to the light. He knows how he lives, that he's safe. He knows that. He just wants to tweet something to look like he fits in or something.
Yeah, he's just trying to fit in after all this time. That's what he wants.
And he owns guns.
Imagine that.
Right. And he feels safe with those guns, and he is trained on those guns, and he can carry those guns. And in television shows, he's worked with the armor on the set. He's been checked out on a bunch of different weapons. He knows how to use them, and he's aware of the damage that they can do, so that he doesn't want them just loose all over the fucking street. What's the problem?
It makes no sense. But let me comment on a couple of those important topics. because I'm in
Yeah, chime in, Ted. Chime in.
touch with great families every day, cops and teachers and military heroes and hardware stores.
Yeah, all the people that you are clamoring on about want to kill.
Operators and energy barons and mechanics.
Energy barons. He's talking about like doing private shows for oil baron redneck assholes.
All the important
in Texas.
people in my life, just down to earth, hard working, hard playing, hard rocking families that are in the asset column because of work ethic, dedication, and making sacrifices to be in that asset column. The border is open by the United States government to facilitate and actually welcome the chemical warfare by the communist Chinese fentanyl gang.
Right.
There you go. And do you hear that? Joy Pag saying right at the end of that? Listen to this shit.
By the United States government.
So the U.S. government is facilitating a chemical attack on the American people. That's why they're leaving the border open. Not negligence is why the border is open. They're doing it on purpose to murder Americans. The U.S. government, this is Turd Nugget over here. The U.S. government is intentionally engaged in a chemical war against its own citizens. By the way, at random. Because obviously they're not, they're not directing them to red states in particular or blue states in particular. They just, wherever it ends up, whoever it kills, it kills. Think about, he's saying this. There is this is one of the most shallow thinking human beings on the fucking planet. So there's no depth to this thought at all.
To facilitate and actually welcome.
To facilitate and welcome. So not only are they doing it, they're actively engaged in it, but they're doing it with a big smile on their face. They're murdering American citizens on purpose by shoveling fentanyl into the country across the board. Now, who thinks that the U.S. government, if there was a plot within the U.S. government to kill off a certain chunk of the American populace through chemical means using a popular drug, that they would even have to smuggle it the fuck in? The precursors for fentanyl are made in China as we get it right now, but they're also made in Arizona. Why the shit would the U.S. one pill, could kill 3 people, even diluted? Why bother?
The chemical warfare by the communist Chinese fentanyl gang as brought about by the Mexican drug cartel to kill hundreds of millions of Americans by
hundreds of millions.
The pharmaceutical industry.
By the pharmaceutical industry. So the pharmaceutical industry, via the Mexican drug cartels, through China, and with the help and support and big smile of the U.S. government, is trying to kill hundreds of millions of Americans. Now, here's my question. Certainly, saying something like this is indicative of a disgusting disdain for human life, and that this man realizes that were anyone to take his words seriously, it would have to involve them just killing any government worker they came across, because it would have to be a top-to-tails organization. No matter who they were in the government, they're participating. The U.S. government is facilitating this. So anybody who didn't stop it, anybody who, works around it, anybody in the Department of Transportation that fucking fixes the road so the fentanyl can reach Montana or whatever the shit he's arguing, if you would have to care so little about human life to say this out loud, knowing full well that somebody who took your word seriously might act on those things, because if they believed it, how do you not? Which brings me to my second point. If you actually believe this shit on this scale, and this goes for Alex Jones and all these bastards, if you actually believe this, how are you not storming places with machine guns and groups of people and killing people all the time or whatever? This is, it goes to the QAnon people. It's one of the reasons why you can tell the QAnon folks are blazingly full of shit, is because the allegations about the people they're talking about are so extraordinary that if you didn't do something about it and you really believed it, you're evil and helping it happen. Now, between you and I, he's bullshitting. Look at his fucking face. He's doing a book report on a book he's never even seen.
And the communist Chinese chemical warfare scourge that is authorized by Uncle Sam.
Authorized by Uncle Sam. He's on a network called Real America's Voice.
Joe, my heart is broken. So the bottom line is that conservatives stand for an experiment in self-government where, unfortunately, not enough conservatives are experimenting in self-government, and we let the liberals and the communists and the...
You don't have self-government. You have self-governance. The biggest concern right now that Americans have, and I'm done with these dickheads. It's a waste of time. The biggest concern that Americans have right now is not a tyrannical government. It isn't. That's not your big worry. Your big worry is the tyrant next door. Is somebody who believes this shit, like the crap that Ted is flogging around, and goes, it's my way or the highway, and they got enough ammo to carry it out on their block or at their old job or on a fucking bus or a school. I'm not worried about government tyranny at this point. There are enough checks and balances to deal with it. And the society, there's enough human beings in this country where any kind of bigger act of tyranny, even with the limitations during COVID, still people were out and about. We never had a moment like the UK or the Australia even trying it. We certainly didn't have a zero COVID policy where people were welded into their apartment. It's a cartoon to even think so. And there's enough people in this country that wouldn't go along with it that it just won't happen. Almost everybody. That's not the fear. We have recourse in this country, and he fucking knows it. What you don't have recourse against right now as an American citizen is some fucking lunatic deciding that it's time for everybody to know how important they fucking are in their giant act of ego for political or sexual, incel grounds. And so they're going to show the world who the real boss is. And so when they decide to do it, instead of having a knife and a handgun or a fucking revolver with 6 shots in it, 5 for their victims and 1 for themselves, they can now, because of fuckheads like Ted Nugent and his ilk, go out with 2 AR-15s with multiple magazines, fucking in a belt, a magazine belt they could wear around their waist that they bought on fucking Amazon, with as much ammunition as they can possibly stockpile, and no one can ever even fucking knock on their door and go, hey, what's that for? Because these assholes will sue the government, and the mayor's life will be in danger, and the fucking judge or anybody who made the fucking phone call will now make the hit list. So everybody's scared of these dickheads. That's the tyranny. It's not a tyrannical government. It's the tyrannical self-governance of Turd Nugget's friends. The rest of us are just getting on with our fucking lives. Good Lord. Sorry. Hey, Hal, what about Mike Pillow losing $5 million today in court? He's going to be, I think there'll be clips about that one tomorrow, if you're cool with that. But it's hilarious. I mean, it's a rough day for that crowd, I have to say. And the Bongholio stuff is just fucking gorgeous. Over 110,000 people died in the U.S. from an opiate overdose in 2022, 106,000 in 2021. So they are blaming fentanyl, but there is no real way of knowing which drug killed them. No data. Well, the idea is that it's a combination of fentanyl and benzos together is the murder cocktail right now. Hold on. Did they please tell me there's a video of Maria Bartiromo? That's it. Yeah. Checking something real quick. Uh-huh. Hashtag it was a huge mistake. Oh, Trump, and I see. Right. Okay, 1 second. I want to check something if I can, and then yeah, because we're hashtag it's a huge mistake is trending, and it has a lot to do with Fox hiring those dickheads in the first place. Newsmax is having a day. And this is a great image of it. Hold on, let me show you this. Fox News, Dominion won $500,000. Newsmax, OAN, City Pal, Rudy Giuliani, Mike Lindell, and Patrick Byrne are all being sued. Smartmatic is still suing all these, and Fox News is next. Newsmax is after that, and OAN, and then everybody after that. And Lou Dobbs, man, fucking, he's just hoping that they just get bored of winning by the time they get to him. Dominion versus Newsmax, get the facts, analysis by Dershowitz. It's not going to help. Why don't you hire him? If you trust his judgment, and who wouldn't? Who wouldn't trust the judgment of a guy who gets a massage at Jeffrey Epstein's house? At his house. Jeffrey Epstein didn't send him to a spa. Didn't say, hey, have you tried the spa at the Soho Hotel? It's fantastic. You know what? I'll pick up the tab. I know the owner. No, he didn't do that. He said, go upstairs into that room and I'll send someone. Think about that for a second. Don't just go through the like, ew, he says he left his underwear on story, which is horseshit. Go through the judgment in your own fucking head of you are at the home. How did the fuck you end up at the home of somebody like Jeffrey Epstein after he had been found guilty in Florida of being a pedophile? You go to his house and he says, if you want a massage, I can send someone to your room. It's fucking the fuck. Ugh. I germinate on that idea sometimes, and I'm like, because as an actor, writer, and as a comedian, I do all kinds of thought exercises. I play stuff out in my head, like, okay, what do you do in that situation? What's the snappy answer to stupid question in a series of awful situations? What is it like on that? This is the way my brain automatically works on it. And I remember the very first time he was defending himself going, it was an old Russian lady, which is interesting. And I kept my underwear on and she was very unattractive and whatever, which is just a fucking lie. But the fact that we don't even have to go that far. Motherfucker, what are you doing in that guy's house? Undressed. What were you doing before and after the massage when you were undressed? I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna barf. I'm gonna barf. I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. By the way, at the Epstein's home in New York, the one that is worth $70 million that Epstein got for $1. The guy gave it to him. For fuck's sake. Uh-huh. Yeah, these guys, there's a bunch of talk about who's being, who should end up being kicked off after. Let's go to, all right. On the other side. So right now, Fox and all these assholes are having their FAFO moment. And the right is desperately trying to, DeSantis is pushing to hide travel details. Oh, that'll be good. It'll roll out. That'll be fun. It doesn't matter. He's Like, that thing is, his campaign's on a hard fucking fade. Did Joe Biden give the massage? Right. Michael Lindell lost in court today, $5 million. Yes, I know. He'll respond tomorrow. I don't even think he was there. So, pretty sure. Yeah. But anyways, this is, the most miserable man on the internet, our very own Greg Kelly, who has his own Trump-like charges in his past that magically disappeared and probably had nothing to do with the fact that his father was the police commissioner in New York City, the city where the alleged sexual assault occurred. I'm certain it's, never mind. These fuckers are just going to get grosser by the second. This is corruption. We can't let it happen. That's what he said. And this is because Hunter's traveling with him, I guess. Or is that the idea? Or was? Let's see.
Well, we can always use...
Oh, okay. So he's talking about the IRS whistleblower. So there's somebody in the IRS thinks that they were slow walking the Hunter Biden stuff. Yes, that's what it is. IRS whistleblower claims Hunter Biden probe mishandled. And this person, who is very pro-Trump, is claiming that they're not doing it fast enough. And the reason is because they were hoping it would, there are strategic times when you want to do it. And they're worried that it'll be slow walked and then it will come out. And then because it's not really a big deal, he'll pay the fine or whatever the fuck, and that'll be that. And their concern is that, they need it to be an October surprise. They were mad that it didn't all come out and, become a thing or go through the courts or whatever, that they didn't file some sort of charges, if there are charges to be made. And again, the allegation that there's actually a crime going on or what have you is not even alleged at this point, except by dickheads like this, not certainly in court documents. But the idea is that they're looking into whether he paid enough taxes on his foreign holdings, whatever. And if he didn't, he should pay a fine and he should pay the money. Apparently, Trump shouldn't be held to that standard, but Hunter Biden should.
There's another hero, and it just might be this guy. And
this guy or gal or person or whatever. Could be this invisible person. We don't know. They're a total hero. They're taking one for the team by saying that they wish Hunter Biden would be accused of something, and he isn't.
Anonymous whistleblower.
Oh, yes. The heroic needs of an anonymous whistleblower. Because what will happen to them? What the fuck does this asshole think will happen to them if they come out and say openly, I work at the IRS, this is me, and I think they're slow walking it? Other than just like lose their job because they're looking behind the scenes into cases they're not on or what have you, and that's a no-no, and how do you know they haven't done that a bunch, or that they're not manipulating files behind the scene because they can't be trusted anywhere near something for partisan reasons? That might be the reason.
Who just might have the goods on Hunter Biden.
Well, man, I've been any day now. Love will set me free. Yeah, I'm whew. It's been, how long has it been? It's been, 3 fucking years of this?
So protected by Congress, by the Biden administration, by the media. Well, we found out something interesting. This whistleblower doesn't like what he's seeing. He's a...
No, he doesn't like it. Not enough to tell people who he is, but okay.
Senior criminal investigator at the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS.
Yes, one of the big heroes of the right. He apparently was hired along with 87,000 other agents to go after Hunter Biden solely, and for some reason Marjorie Taylor Greene single-handedly got rid of the funding.
And Hunter has been under federal investigation for quite some time, and this
but he's
whistleblower, he wants protection because he's alleging that the whole damn...
Yes, he wants to be put in the witness relocation program so that they can give him a fake identity so he can live in Delaware near the lake.
Thing has been covered up. Wall Street Journal, thank you very much. Hunter Biden probe is being mishandled according...
Ooh, ouch. Mishandled. Oh no, not mishandled. Dear God. You mean mishandled like, I don't know, a copy of a fake hard drive called laptop that Rudy Giuliani purchased overseas and brought back over, full of a mix of real and fake and deep faked documents and pictures and images that they spliced together that take up more space on that hard drive than could have existed on the laptop model that was allegedly dropped off at the Delaware laptop repair shop, and then it was passed around and only given out printed versions of stuff, not allowing the press to look at the metadata on it until after the fact. And when it finally got into the hands of the Washington Post and they looked at it, their forensics experts finally said something like, it's a forensic nightmare. You mean that kind of mishandled? Because I will say one thing, that if the Hunter Biden laptop is full of crimin', filled to the brim with the fruits of crime, Hunter Biden will skate. He will never be charged. You know why? Because they so mishandled the chain of evidence on that hard drive, and they cannot answer to the original source material at fucking all, that anybody who even finds something like, oh, his business dealings with this, linked to this, or whatever, like a first-year law student could get the whole fucking thing thrown out because of fruit of the poison tree. And anybody who doesn't know that is Rudy Giuliani.
To the whistleblower, it reads as follows.
Odds are, oh boy, Greg's gonna read. Everybody gather around.
The supervisor has details that show preferential treatment and politics improperly infecting decisions and protocols that would normally be followed by career law enforcement professionals in similar circumstances if the subject were not politically connected. And
yeah, that happens all the time for a lot of reasons, because sometimes the probe can be started by someone that has a grudge. So they take extra care to make sure it's not political. That's one of the reasons why that happens. Do I know which way it is? No. And what are the details? That's fine. It's the fourth word that I give a shit about. What details would that be? Go for it. That seems like the easiest part. Okay, Elizabeth in our chat room says MTG is a true American, loves out country and people. She's smart and a kind soul, as in the fish or the bottom of a shoe. I love what she's about, which of course is siding with people who leak classified documents onto the internet for no particular reason. And of course, I guess, shooting electric cars. And she stands for freedom. No, she doesn't, because she's against a woman's right to choose. And that's the tough part about democracy. Sorry. Okay, here we go.
Boy, is Hunter Biden politically connected or what?
Or what? Details, please.
Connected?
I'm here for the details, Greg. You got details, man. They promise details. You promise details. Give me the details.
And protect.
A picture of them at a ball game is not going to do it. I know they're sitting in the front. That's because Barack Obama was fucking president at the time.
Protected by just about everybody. Look, I know.
Protected by just about everybody. Except the Kremlin, which I think is the part that, where Trump's got them beat, I suppose.
It wasn't the most amazing thing you've ever read, but it's a little bit of a ray of hope, right? A little bit of justice.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I mean, it's not great, but they say they have details, and I'll take them at their word.
Huh? I mean, you know what they did to Donald Trump. Anybody who came out against Donald Trump, it was the most sensational story in the world, and they got the royal treatment, these whistleblowers, these whatever they call themselves.
Yeah, see those people appearing in public, showing their faces, speaking under oath, might be why they got the news coverage that they did. You see? I mean, obviously, none of these folks have anything on a graphic you made that says whistleblower, but yeah, testify under oath. I'm for it. Where's the details? Fucking bring it.
These people were celebrated, and to this day, they are still profiting. Vindman.
Profiting?
You know, the guy, him, right? The chubby.
Yeah, see this stuff? Yeah, I can see that. Go ahead. Shit on him, Greg.
Soldier. Vindman. Even his wife got a podcast. No kidding. A podcast, and she shows up on MSNBC, all because her husband came out against Trump.
Yeah, all because her husband had integrity and she backed him, and she's a woman with her own point of view. Things that poor little Greg Kelly can't even process.
Well, our next guest has been traveling across the country to several.
Hold on. No, I'm not going to get bounced because of a fucking, copyright strike, Greg. This is not one of the details. I know she has a show. Give me the details from that the whistleblower says proves that they slowed for political reasons of thingy thing. Let's do it.
Suburban women problem.
There's a problem here, and it's called the swamp. Are you crazy? The wife of Vindman is now a talking head. All right, now what's going to happen to...
What, swamp? What the fuck are you talking about? Neither one of them work in D.C.
Oh,
I'm not doing a green blouse on her. She doesn't have it coming, but I will say it's a mistake. Don't do it.
Whistleblower. I just hope...
Yeah, way better. I trust this person a lot more than the people we saw.
He doesn't get prosecuted, okay? I hope he doesn't get prosecuted.
How do you know? Greg, what if on top of being an anti-Hunter Biden whistleblower, he happens to be, I don't know, like one of the pedos that worked on the Trump campaign? I'm just spitballing. You want him to be safe from those prosecutions? I'm just fucking around. Who cares?
He's not getting a podcast. He's not getting a book deal. But maybe...
Why not? You don't think Truth Social or 45 books wouldn't give him a fucking book deal?
Maybe we'll all get justice. And when it...
All of us will get justice against the huge tax burden that Hunter Biden may or may not have owed. Meanwhile, tell me again why Donald Trump dodging taxes it shows his business acumen.
Comes to taxes, this guy's at the IRS.
Yeah, the place you want to defund or get rid of entirely.
Hunter's on thin ice, and so it potentially is Joe. You know about this famous, should be famous text message, Hunter Biden complaining to his family.
Oh my God, this is fucking 3 years old. There's 416 gigabytes of shit on that hard drive, and we're seeing the same 3 text messages? Motherfucker. Honest to God. They've released the entire content. Go through the fucking thing. Why is it, if his dad is the master criminal that you say he is, and Hunter Biden is obviously the bag man for the whole fucking family, why isn't there anything else than this kind of I guess I have to pay the bills around here, fuck. Like a petulant text about paying for his niece's, because he's the richest family member, paying for his niece's schooling or some shit. At a moment of weakness, by the way. Who gives a shit?
I hope you...
Oh my God, please, please, please. Can we see the text messages between Greg Kelly and his fucking dad? Circa, I don't know, let's go from 2002 to 2006. Anywhere in that area. Can you fucking imagine the whiny, bitchy, little man syndrome bullshit that would be stacked for everyone to see both directions?
All can do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years? What an interesting statement. But don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary.
Right. That was when he was an addict and his family was afraid that he would lose all of his money. So they sequestered it. That's why he got it back later. Good Lord.
More on Joe Biden's income in a moment. Did he declare all this stuff that Hunter gave him? So it's very rich, though. The IRS, Hunter Biden is picking on the IRS. Yes, Hunter is sending letters to the IRS demanding that his political opponents be investigated. Yes, letters have gone to the DOJ. I talked about this a couple of days ago when we first...
Yes, it's super exciting. We're all very excited.
Found out the IRS and the Attorney General of Delaware. And regarding the IRS, yeah, his lawyer said, you got to start an investigation. We represent Hunter Biden, son of the president, and we request the Internal Revenue Service review the tax-exempt status of Marco Polo USA, whose sole member is Garrett Ziegler, a very prominent anti-Biden personality / investigator / genius.
Totally a genius. Absolutely a genius. In his own mind. Good Lord. Uh-huh.
Very good with research.
Very good with research. Not as good as the IRS whistleblower that they have, which with the details, which we've seen. Have we at this point? What have we seen so far in this story that entitled, if I may, "This is corruption. We can't let it happen," which sounds like he's cribbing lines from Don Jr. What have we actually seen so far? We've seen Vindman's wife being interviewed by Mika Brzezinski on Morning Joe. We've seen a Time magazine cover of the people who came out and testified under oath about Donald Trump. We've seen Hunter Biden's proactive, offensive legal maneuvers against people who are trying to go after him. And we've seen a picture that says whistleblower, of an outline of a head that says whistleblower next to it, where a chunk of an article that's allegedly torn out of a paper. I love the torn edges thing. It's so old school. Where there were details that were coming, and we are 3 minutes and 40 seconds into this shit, and we don't have a single one.
The president's son is asking the IRS to look into that. That's a problem.
Why? Anyone can do it.
And on this tax issue, we saw Joe Biden's taxes for 2022. His income, $579,514. The bulk of that is the presidential salary, $400,000. Can Joe get by on this? By the way, Trump took $1. Remember that?
No, he didn't.
Joe
That's a lie. Trump did not give away his salary. On 2 instances, he had a secondary check cut, and then he tried to write it off on his taxes.
Minor things. We all know about the Corvette, the watches, the beach house, all that stuff. The answer is probably not, but he's got to play it safe because everyone should be scrutinizing this stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't have giant mortgages on those properties, dummy. You can look at his financial disclosures. They bought it with book money. And Simon & Schuster gave them the money from the book. Like, it's not a big fucking mystery. Simon & Schuster isn't run out of Moscow, dum-dum.
But they weren't in 2017. What happened in 2017? Well, he left the vice presidency, and then it was a bonanza as far as money goes. $11 million. Can't quite figure out how he got all that money.
Really? You could... I know why. There's a reason why. There's a reason why I can't figure it out. Is because he didn't look at the actual tax form, which is available to the public. I mean, it's Greg Kelly. He's on a show called Newsmax. Why the fuck would he bother?
That is the same year that we know Hunter got money from China and split it up between Haley and his uncle, and I don't know. This is...
Yes, and comparatively, chump change. So why the fuck would Biden bother?
It's a lot of money. Didn't all...
And by the way, that was the payment of a retainer for a business that didn't happen. We're going to do this. You on board? Yes, I'm on board. You on board? Yes, I'm on board. Okay, contract says we're on board. If it happens, we all invest this amount, and if it continues and it makes a profit, we get back this amount. If it doesn't happen, we get retainer fees of $1 million of the $3 million that's going to be allotted. Didn't happen. Dude got paid $3 million, and he went, sorry for bothering.
From that silly memoir.
It's fucking all the time in business. All the fucking time.
Or he wrote, I can guarantee you that. So where...
No, you can't. Greg, you can't guarantee us all that you're wearing pants.
Is Joe going to get his money? And Hunter...
Why are you looking down? Fuck's sake, man. Get a teleprompter and 2 monitors so that you can at least look at the fucking story.
Owes him half of his income, and there's a lot of income. You know, Hunter Biden is an artist these days. Yes, it's a total joke, of course. But guess how much he's getting for some of these junky paintings? $500,000.
Yeah, this is from fucking 2 years ago.
Shouldn't forget this, folks. I know we all kind of laughed at it, but
some of them.
This is big business, and it continues, and this is a way to get to the president. This is This is corruption.
Do you have any idea how many George W. Bushes go for? His fucking paint-by-numbers dog paintings?
You can't let this happen. You can't have the son of the president selling this junk art, and it is junk art.
Actually, I don't know how much of his stuff I've seen. I find it surprising. This is not bad.
What else? Nothing good. This is...
It's got a kind of Beatles-esque forest situation with the multicolored trees and like. I like the patterning on that one. I think the kind of geometric attempt here. It's interesting that in this particular one, is this this looks photoshopped or something to me because why is it missing this part of it on the canvas? They didn't stretch the canvas right? That's weird. For a geometric one? The fuck?
This is trash. This is junk, okay? I mean...
I may not know art, but I know what Greg Kelly thinks is trash. Yeah, it's not bad, actually, CSL. Like, I was... Because I don't pay attention, because I don't give a shit. I'm not in the art world. But I will say that if I was in a gallery and they had these on the wall and people were going, ooh la la, I'd be like, oh, all right, yeah, it seems nice. I don't know.
I mean, it's fine if you...
Meanwhile, hold on. Meanwhile, fucking, you want to talk about selling art in the world? Oh, hold on one second. I gotta jump this back. Meanwhile, this is what Trump is making. Trump is selling NFTs that look like this. Look at this shit. Surfing on fucking money. Like cooking with barbecuing with a fucking dog with his signature on the front of it. The shit. Collect Trump cards. They're amazing.
Hello again. This is your favorite president, Donald Trump, with some news you are going to really love. A few months ago, we almost broke the internet when I announced my Trump digital trading cards. These beautiful Trump cards made headlines.
These beautiful Trump cards, I had to do this 45 times, and they cut the words together and took all the air out of between them so that it's even mildly exciting.
Lines all over the world because of the speed at which they sold. Original cards sold out so fast, everybody is asking me to do another series. Well, I've got some fantastic news for you. My Trump digital trading cards are back with a...
Look at this shit, holding the fucking Liberty
Bang.
Bell.
Series 2, the new collection features incredible artwork of me as a rock star and also
as a rock star.
As a monster trucker.
Also as a monster trucker. All right, this is getting very, very close to the guy who does the impersonation of him is on SNL is fucking dead on. Rockstar, and here's me as a monster trucker. Jesus.
People love to collect baseball cards, but why settle for that when you can collect the greatest trading card in history, my Trump digital trading cards? We didn't rate
him as a fucking fireman. Jesus Christ. After all the shit that these assholes, say women can't pass the physical fitness test to be a fireman, so we shouldn't allow them. You think this asshole could? Not only could he not carry one of his fellow fire persons out of a fire or up a flight of stairs or 60 feet unsupported or whatever, he wouldn't. He just bugged the fuck out.
Is the price despite the incredible fast...
Oh my God, what the shit is this? Played guitar on top of a motorcycle, wearing Liberace sunglasses on Route 45, keeping right at the moon in the middle of the thing. What the shit?
Sell out last time. It's so easy to buy, just need an email address.
It's me golfing, but healthy. Something you'll never see in real life. That's what makes these valuable. Something that's never existed. Me looking healthy, playing golf. There's never a picture of this, so we had to make our own.
And your credit card or crypto. If you want
or crypto if you want. These guys
Own a piece of history. Go to Collect Trump.
fucking what a douchebag. But fucking, and look at all these too. Like there's see him as fucking George Washington. Like, god damn, this is how I got a Zoom call with Trump and an NFT for free. This article on what? Is this video real or a deep fake? If it's real, does Trump look like?
Hello, everyone. This is Donald Trump. Hopefully your favorite president of all time, better than Lincoln, better than Washington, with an important announcement to make. I'm doing my first official Donald J. Trump NFT collection.
We did these things when this came out. That was so dumb. People thought it was fake. Oh my god, what a dickhead! All right, so sorry, where am I? Greg, hold on. Here we go. Greg Kelly hating. So this is shit to Greg Kelly. This is amazing. This stuff. That. Trump made millions of dollars selling these fucking things to God knows who for crypto.
Right here and right now.
Uh-huh. These are some trees I made.
Got a hobby. This is how the New York Times put it. This was actually a slam. Hunter's paintings have the generic smoothness of the art you might see in a posh hotel room. Now, to an average person, that sounds okay, they must be decent. But in the art world, calling the art hotel art is about the worst thing you can possibly say.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And the Biden administration.
Also, still not a detail. Give me one buyer that they found out has paid money and that they paid money to Hunter and it changed legislation in the White House right now. A single person. A single issue. Anywhere. A group of Guatemalan human smugglers bought one of his paintings and said, you got to keep the border open for 3 days more. Like, what?
Really, at one point, tried to pull this off with a straight face by invoking the gallerist. All questions must be handled by somebody called a gallerist.
I'd refer you to the gallerist for questions about the event. We've spoken to the specifics, what the gallerist has agreed to, and what recommendations were made. I've done that several times. I point you to the gallerist on...
yeah, the person who's running the gallery, who gives a shit?
Specifics of the restrictions that were put in place. We were very transparent about what recommendations were made to the gallerist, and I would again point you to them or the many times I've spoken about that from here.
Good old lunch pail working class Joe Biden from Scranton. His administration referring people to the gallerist. Okay.
The fuck? This guy would scoop Trump's shit into his shirt pocket and use it as a badge to get into Mar-a-Lago. If it, like, I have Trump turds. They let me in, right? I'm allowed. I've been collecting them for years. A little foxing around the edges, but it isn't weird that Hunter Biden is making art that they're selling in a gallery, and because he's the son of a president and he's controversial, that there might be people who want to buy it for large sums because people are like, holy shit, that's one of Hunter Biden's? Get the fuck out of here. How much you pay for that? I'm like, I can't tell you. But holy shit, right? That's crazy. Meanwhile, Harlan Crow has a fucking copy of Mein Kampf signed by Hitler, and this dude's like, what? This is an attack on Clarence Thomas.
Okay. All right, got to talk about Eric Swalwell for a moment.
Why? Does Eric Swalwell know the details that the whistleblower was talking about in this corruption thing? Right.
Oh, boy, yeah. Can you believe he still shows up for work after?
Yes. He was reelected, dum-dum.
Well, the Fang stuff.
What's the Fang stuff, fucko? What is it? He had a woman who was trying to bundle funds because she can't donate directly. She was on a campus, and she was trying to cozy up, and the FBI came to him and said, we think she's a spy. As a matter of fact, we know she is, and they cut off ties with her, and she moved back to China and hasn't been seen since. Go on.
Anyway, he does, and he tries to lecture Republicans about supporting law enforcement, anti-Semitism. He really is a shameless character.
Shameless character. Motherfucker, he's holding up defund the FBI stuff from Marjorie Taylor Greene that she posted within days of her saying that we should send the FBI after Ali Alexander, a person she was happy, and Nick Fuentes, people she was happy to take pictures with and hang around with and text with around January 6th. But now all of a sudden they're the fucking bad guy?
Watch.
I mean, they are. They're awful. Don't get me wrong. But, like, she's suddenly pristine compared to them?
But this tweet was kept up for months after Kanye West said that he was going to declare DEFCON 3 on the Jews. Mr. Secretary, do you believe that all of us have a responsibility to elevate our rhetoric and to denounce anti-Semitism and anti-police rhetoric in this country so that Jewish Americans and police officers can be safer?
All right, to portray himself as some sort of pro-Jewish crusader, I'm sorry. And we all deplore anti-Semitism, of course.
Apparently not, because they left the fucking tweet up. As far as I know, it's still up, isn't it?
But Kanye West, anybody who ever saw a Kanye West concert or listened to a Kanye West musical or...
No. Listened to a Kanye West musical. Okay. All right. Fuck off, dum-dum. Stay in your genre. Anyways, the issue wasn't about Kanye West's fucking music even at this point. You're thinking of R. Kelly. The question was with the fact that he said this shit about the Jews within a few days of having dinner with Trump and Nick Fuentes. And the GOP ran to support him. And then when his true beliefs came out, they stood by him. Good Lord.
I didn't do any of those things, by the way. But are they supposed to renounce themselves?
I did. Really? You haven't been to a Kanye show? That shocks me, Greg. Maybe he just plays places where the bus doesn't run.
And renounce all that stuff. It's ludicrous. It's a waste of time. And guess who called him out on it in spectacular fashion?
Now I recognize the gentlelady from Georgia, Miss
Ironically named
Green.
That was quite entertaining from someone that had a sexual relationship with a Chinese spy, and everyone knows it. But
I move to take her words down. Completely inappropriate.
Yeah, stand by just a second.
Yeah. She's the GOP wants to kick her off the fucking committee. And by the way, no, everyone doesn't know it. That is an online accusation. I've been looking. Trust me. I keep trying to find the place where they genuinely alleged a sexual relationship between the two of them in any story anywhere. Even in the right wing and like real media. And I can't find it. Please, you guys, if you guys find something that even talks about this shit, I would love to read it. Because I've been scouring. It's all just online hashtag horseshit.
Wow. It's true, by the way.
No, it isn't.
It's a statement of fact. He hooked up with Fang Fang, a Chinese spy.
No. He didn't hook up with her. She was a bundler for the campaign when he was on the city council, and then when he was running for mayor. And she brought this stuff. She was part of she was getting Chinese Americans to donate to his campaign. That's how they were trying to get close to him.
Now, I don't think Eric Swalwell actually knew it. I'm not accusing him of espionage, but potentially he compromised national security. Who knows what she was doing when Swalwell was asleep? They try to shame her. You have to.
First, again, 3 pictures in public of somebody like this is not indicative. If you even take some of the pictures that Trump has taken with some fucking awful people at events where he's like, hey, I don't take that as automatic evidence that he was engaged in some sort of, whatever crooked scheme they've been busted for. The sitting around a dinner table, hanging out, partying together stuff or golfing on the regular, that's where it gets a little bit hinky. But this kind of shit, what are you talking about?
Take that back. Oh, how can you say that? Oh, you can't say that, can you? You can't speak the truth, can you?
The chair recognizes the gentlelady from Georgia.
We're just playing it again.
Georgia and asks
favor of Anthony for Marjorie.
Retract those words.
No, I will not.
Good for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Remember, Swalwell just said that.
Yeah, they struck it from the record. It doesn't matter. It's left in there that she, she said something that was removed and she would not retract the statement.
Republicans are in favor of anti-Semitism, don't support law enforcement, all these silly games. Shame on him and
silly games. Show me the used condom, fuckhead. Show me the private eye picture of them leaving a motel. I'm for it. Let's see. Let me see the evidence that they actually had sex. Or shut the fuck up about instantly sexualizing young Asian women, because that's your freak point.
Good for Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Fuck her.
All right. You know we lost in Afghanistan.
No, we didn't.
We lost a
We left.
war in Afghanistan, and
We left.
still
We weren't at war in Afghanistan. Not for the last 10 fucking years.
living with the ramifications. They are global. The world is a far more dangerous place. I said this earlier.
So we should have stayed.
This week, people should have lost their jobs, but did not, like the Secretary of Defense, like the National Security Advisor, all these guys. They are still on the job. Well,
because Joe Biden ran on getting us out of Afghanistan, and he followed through. He even extended the timetable 3 months, but we got out. He sent in 6,000 troops to help evacuate Americans and other people supporting us out of there, when the Trump administration had set a deadline for, May 31st, and had done none of the work to start the process of getting near that, especially, taking care of the people the Afghans and their families who had helped us the entire time we were there, the ones whose lives would be in danger. They did none of that shit.
At least some parts of government still function. Now, there is an inspector general that has been looking into our defeat in Afghanistan, the disastrous pullout.
Oh my God, the swamp, the bureaucracy. An inspector general, you mean an unelected individual in the government that seems to, you mean like Vindman was an inspector general? You mean the inspector generals that are everywhere on almost every project because of, wait, who implemented inspector generals? Should we bring it up to him? He likes Georgia, so he'll probably like this. Hold on. Council of the Inspectors General on Integrity and Efficiency. The IG Act of 1978 is enacted by President Jimmy Carter, who signed the act and described the new statutory IGs as perhaps the most important new tools to fight against fraud. President Carter charges the IGs to always remember that their ultimate responsibility is not to any individual, but to the public interest. Jimmy Carter gave us inspectors general.
And he's frustrated. He released a devastating report, and he's saying the Biden administration did not cooperate.
Unfortunately, as I sit here today, I cannot assure this committee or the American taxpayer we are not currently funding the Taliban.
We are
okay.
Currently funding the Taliban?
Why? Because they're stealing food aid?
Taliban? Remember, the Taliban are running Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah, the people that Trump made a deal with and got the leader, well, the third guy in charge, actually, Abdul, got him out of a Pakistani jail and freed 5,000 Taliban fighters.
Are in charge, just like they were before September 11, 2001. Just like they were then. And, oh, by the way, for 6 weeks after September 11th, because George W. Bush was really slow in reacting.
He waited a whole 6 weeks before going to war in Afghanistan. He couldn't have done it that afternoon. Honestly, don't we have bombs planted there already he could just trigger? Fuck off.
More from the IG.
The lack of cooperation by state, and I'm not talking about the IGs, I'm talking about the Department of State and to a lesser extent USAID, is unprecedented in the nearly 12 years that I have been the SIGAR.
Wait a minute, USAID? So he's talking about, is he talking about sanction money? This is an interesting slice.
Must add, in the 2 decades that I did congressional oversight, both in the Senate and the House. Due to this refusal to fully cooperate, a significant portion of SIGAR's work, including the 5 reports we did for this committee, have been hindered and delayed.
Well, that's bureaucratic talk for the Biden administration screwed us.
Hey, hold on one second. I'm way over. I recognize this. Work with me for a second. Hold on. Let's see. C-SPAN subco. Whoops. Yeah, here you go. Shaw, Andrew Alley, Sopco's opening testimony, Comer closing statement ranking.
When you feel depressed, anxious, or just
ticklish, who can say? Who can say?
For continued U.S. programming in Afghanistan. Thank you for your time. I look forward to
begin with the chairman of the National Security Subcommittee, Mr. Grelfin.
Thank you. I'm going to go a little bit.
Assistance since the Taliban came to power and the severe curtailment of the rights of women and girls. Further, the Afghan Special Immigrant Visa Program, for which the Department of State is primarily responsible, still has more than 152,000 SIV applicants in Afghanistan undergoing processing as of last month. This is why it is Afghanistan
so
nearly.
Let's see if we can find that dude.
Each of
Where
us
is he?
recognizes that our work has long-lasting potential.
Let's work together to find ways
to please begin his opening.
Trump moved IDOIGs of withdrawal-related.
Today, I can share that
a variety of military equipment and property. DOD and his lead IG and his lead IG and his lead IG.
Oversight that is expected. Oversight that is expected.
Get out of here.
Forces and compounded the Afghan military's total dependence on U.S. combat and contracted.
Hold on, here we go.
With civilian officials.
So this is his piece.
For other colleagues here, SIGAR has not been tasked with, nor do we have the jurisdiction to, look at the question of the administration's withdrawal. However, just days after that withdrawal occurred, this committee, in a bipartisan fashion, asked us and directed us to examine the factors that led up to the Afghan collapse and the Afghan withdrawal. Your request, I believe, is extremely critical to today's hearing and your ongoing oversight work, because it provides the context for how the Trump and Biden administration's policy decisions were either effected or carried out. SIGAR's reports, and these are the 2 reports which we have prepared for this committee, are based upon our over 12 years of work in Afghanistan, over 700 audits or reports we prepared, and includes dozens of
So understand that how little Greg Kelly has just showed us of what this dude's talking about. And know that the context of what he was talking about is over 12 years of U.S. funding, support through a various group of agencies and through the DOD and through our military actions in there. It's not just about the withdrawal.
Lessons learned reports on particular issues in Afghanistan. They are also based on over 800 interviews of the purpose for what's going into Afghanistan was the result of many decisions made over the course of 4 presidential administrations.
We know this.
We found that the 2020 Doha Agreement and the subsequent decision to go through with the withdrawal in 2021 merely exacerbated long-existing problems. Among them, these policy decisions dramatically degraded the morale of the Afghan security forces and
Yes. Apparently, the Afghan security forces were very upset that we were leaving. So we should have stayed forever.
Compounded the Afghan military's total dependence on U.S. combat and contractor support, which left the Afghan military unable to sustain operations. The Afghan government's own self-denial about the U.S. intent to depart, the exclusion of the Afghan government.
Yes, it was weird that the Afghan government didn't think we were really leaving because three administrations had all said we were leaving and didn't.
Government from the U.S. negotiations with the Taliban. Again, systemic corruption. And the
in the
Afghan government decision-making were additional factors that contributed to the disaster.
You think?
But remember this. Once each administration decided to withdraw our troops and contractors, it was not a question of if. It was rather a question of when the Afghan government was going to collapse.
Right. Because the recognition was that we were holding it up artificially. So, again, the solution was never going to be stay forever. Unless you're Trump, I guess.
Now, I want to change the subject because there are still major problems with our assistance in Afghanistan that this committee should be alerted to.
Okay, so this guy, bless his heart, by the way, I feel for this dude. I think he was very involved in looking at where aid was going, how they were trying to establish the government, whether the government would keep, its position. And I'm sure he cares about like women and girls being able to go to school and the, the rights of free people and the like. So he's probably angry on those points. But let's be abundantly clear. This is not a guy who thinks that we left poorly, but that we should never have left at all.
The United States has appropriated $2 billion for Afghanistan assistance since the withdrawal.
Since the withdrawal, $2 billion.
And a further $3.5 billion may be available through this newly created Switzerland-based Afghan fund. While I agree, and we all agree, Afghanistan faces a dire humanitarian and economic situation, it is critical that our assistance not be diverted by the Taliban.
Okay, this is what it is. All right, let's go back to what Greg Kelly was showing us. This is clear. That's the context. Whoops, fuck that dude. Hold on. Let's be clear. What was Greg just showing us? This is fucking slippery as shit, Greg.
Committee work, including the 5 reports we did for this committee, have been hindered and delayed.
Well, that's bureaucratic talk for the Biden administration screwed up.
Hold on.
Years that I have been the cigar. I must add, in the 2 decades that I did congressional oversight, both in the Senate and the House. Due to this refusal to fully cooperate, a significant portion of CIGAR's work, including the 5 reports we did for this committee, have been hindered and delayed.
Well, that's bureaucratic talk for the Biden administration screwed us. The Biden administration does not want the truth known.
No, this dude thinks that the $5.5 billion that we are directly or indirectly going to support humanitarian aid in Afghanistan, he does not trust that he doesn't believe there are guarantees that the Taliban isn't siphoning that money off. And he wants more guarantees about that. That's not the same thing as like they're hiding the details of the fucking withdrawal. It's a completely opposite issue. This guy wants to audit where the money is going in, for the most part, an inauditable situation. Good Lord.
And let's go through some of the tidbits, shall we? The United States had no business trying to train the Afghan military. That was a disaster that went on.
Jesus Christ. And this is Biden's fault. Biden was the one who told Obama, the generals are going to say, just give me 6, 8, 12 more months and we'll win this. It'll be great. And he's like, they're going to say this and they're going to keep saying it. And I'm telling you to get the fuck out. And Obama trusted them and listened to Joe, but basically he was the only voice saying that this is not going to be something you're able to build. And he stuck with it because, for the same reason I think a lot of good people did, because they thought they could save women and girls and stabilize the government, and that helped everybody to some degree. And since we weren't really losing soldiers in battle at that point, we could get around and we start slowly moving people out and moving to a diplomatic zone, and it would be, you know, like the green zone in Iraq or something over time. But it wasn't going to be. And Biden knew this, and he said it all the way up to the end. He's like, that's why we removed so much fucking gear in the last year of the Obama administration. Because so effectively, the thought was that Hillary Clinton would continue the withdrawal, and that they would be ready to fucking go.
For almost 20 years, the Taliban is using millions of weapons that we left behind. That's on Joe.
That's on Joe. Mm-hmm.
And the same thing can happen in Ukraine. We have...
What? The fuck is that? What? How? Where do we take this fucking left turn? No, it can't. You know why? Because the Ukrainians aren't jihadis, for one.
So many weapons.
Women and girls are allowed to go to school in Ukraine already, you dumb son of a bitch.
Over there, not all of them are accounted for, easily could fall into the hands of the...
Yes, we need, you know what we need? Greg, you're right. You know what? During an open war, I think we should have like Apple AirTags on every weapon that we can all look at them on an app on our phone to know precisely where all the guns and artillery and tanks are at any given time. So we know that American money is well spent as our shit gets obliterated from the fucking sky. Because you could track it. I want to audit every dime that is being spent in Ukraine, and I want to know exactly where all of our stuff is so I can make a fucking phone call and somebody can strafe bomb it from the air. God damn it.
Terrorists like the man pads. These things are a very deadly terrorist tool, very easy to use to shoot down commercial airliners. So much of this stuff is just rolling around Ukraine and
rolling around Ukraine, where there are no commercial flights flying over that area for a good reason, I think.
By the way.
And by the way, no, fuck you, by the way. How the fuck are the Ukrainians the Taliban all the fucking sudden?
The Russians went into Ukraine, we believe, because of our defeat in Afghanistan. And Putin would not have invaded if...
I don't care what you believe. That's not true. He's running out of time. And he couldn't wait for Trump to get reelected if he was going to. Wasn't going to happen. Time to go.
Trump were president. 62%.
I don't care what the fuck 62% of people believe. 62% of... There's... Hold on. Let me solve this for you. I know I'm going long tonight, but since yesterday, okay. Let's see. Stupid things majority. Try to do this for a second. Hold on. Whoops. Give me 1 second. I think this is on Funny or Die. Give me 1 second. We'll go by the numbers. 18% of Americans believe that Obama is a Muslim. Let's see. A huge number of Americans believe the moon landing was staged. A Gallup poll says that 3% had no opinion, but 18% believe that the Earth was the center of the universe. 1 in 3 Americans believe in ghosts. That's 30%. Dinosaurs and humans live together. A third of Texans believe this. 51% of Americans believe in creationism. Environmentalists intentionally caused oil spills. The existence of aliens. 80% of Americans believe the country's keeping something under wraps about Roswell. And that Fox News is the most trusted. 50% of Americans trust Fox News. Oh, it's gone already. So old. Old news stories. That's what happens when I go too deep, too quick, I think. All right, back to here.
of Americans agree with that. It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's almost as if half of those idiots watch my show and half of those idiots watch Fox News. And between the two of us, we've deluded everyone.
The president, what he does, his decisions, there are huge ramifications. It's obvious, but man, what a reminder, huh? Things happen and history has changed. A man dies in Minnesota, George Floyd, and we are still...
Oh, shit. You want to talk about what something 62% of Americans believe, Greg? You're about to step in it.
With the overreaction to this.
The overreaction to this
individual's death. Yeah, I don't like what the cops did. I also don't like that the manual of the Minneapolis Police Department said you could do it for some crazy reason, but it did. I think that...
Yeah, I just wish we'd have never heard about this, and I wish that they'd never had to do anything about it because they were threatened or something. I don't know. It's just... Anyways, can we go back to those pictures of Trump riding a horse and playing guitar?
The overreaction actually led to this cop getting hit in the head in Harlem all these years later.
That's YouTube blocking
right?
shit out.
The resentment of law enforcement. How about this young girl getting beaten up on the street in Chicago? I don't think this would have happened had it not been for the...
By the way, this is Greg Kelly playing black violence porn for his viewers.
The overreaction, the total disintegration almost of society in the wake...
The total disintegration almost.
Wake of George Floyd. And me.
In the wake of George.
On the way to work.
Yeah, Greg's dad was the top cop in New York, Matt.
I'm still personally living with the aftermath. This man, I haven't seen this too much, but when I do, it totally blows me away. Smoking marijuana on a train.
Oh my God. I'm sick of these motherfucking marijuanas on these motherfucking trains.
And that's what you do now.
That's what you do. I mean, sure the beatings, sure the knockout games, sure the shootings and stuff, but smoking weed on a train, excuse us, we're all in here.
It's kind of okay.
It's Can I just remind everyone, we're still watching the same fucking video that started out about Hunter Biden's taxes. Greg Kelly, this is corruption. We can't let it happen. Where the fuck, how do they ramble out in the fucking woods like this?
So with all this...
Say what again?
Crazy stuff. Let's hope that this very courageous whistleblower can tell his story and not be hassled.
Or her story.
And not be prosecuted. He doesn't need a podcast.
Or her.
We just...
Maybe they do want one. What are you going to do, shut him down already?
Need to hear his story, and the Bidens need to be held accountable.
Accountable for what? For what? Details! Son of a bitch. Yeah, so thanks for joining me today. It's Hal Sparks' radio program, Megaworldwide, is on this Saturday, tomorrow, where are we? Thursday, it's a day after tomorrow, and Philip Bittner will be joining me not only then, but tomorrow. I got ahead of myself. Hold on one second. Let's see. And then, does this button still work? I think it still works. Well, I think this would have, hey, I think this was a damn fucking fine show today, man. We did some changes. We went through some shit. We got awful close to some fucking linguistic third rails, Some scary, sketchy shit, man. You watch. Oh, look at that. They got a little lower 30 thing under there. What's happening there? Get out of there. Go away. That's weird. Ain't got no logo on it. Covering up the name. That ain't my name. I gotta fix that later. Shit. Anyways, where was I? Oh, yes. We got pretty damn close to some areas of conversation that make people a bit uncomfortable. You know what I mean? They make you give you a wart on the fanny, giving you the fidgets. You know what I mean? But here's what I want to say, if I can sign off for you, and I want you guys to have a great night and take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And what that feller always says, if you ever confronted with a choice that you believe is the lesser of two evils, hey man, choose less evil. I always do, especially when I'm at the bar playing darts, because I know both these women have a knife, only one will use it. And I think that's a lesson we can all learn ourselves. But I want to say to all you fellas and folks out there, that when you try, understand, reading is difficult. Believe me, I know. But when somebody's bullshitting you right in the ear, I'm just gonna recommend that you put a little distance between yourself, because you don't want to get any on your shoulder either. So, love to y'all. Take care of yourself. I'll see you later. What fucking button do I push to make this shit happen? Hold on one second. There's a thing here. I don't know. Shit. Wish me luck. I don't know. It's just gonna be all right. I just don't want to electrocute one of the fucking cats.